Welcome to the mythical creatures.
Zombies are among the most enduring and complex figures in modern popular culture. These creatures, often depicted as reanimated corpses lacking human consciousness and driven by a need to consume the living, hold a prominent place in horror literature, film, video games, and even philosophical discourse. They represent a deep-seated cultural symbol, capturing our fears about death, disease, societal collapse, and the fragility of civilization. The study and fascination with zombies extend beyond entertainment, touching on themes of existentialism, identity, and morality. The concept of zombies originally stems from Haitian folklore, specifically within the religious practice of voodoo, which has its roots in West African traditions blended with elements of Roman Catholicism and indigenous beliefs. In voodoo, a zombie is a person brought back to life by a sorcerer known as a balkor, who exercises control over them. These zombies lack autonomy and consciousness, making them slaves to the balkor's will. This portrayal of zombies was not inherently terrifying. Rather, it was deeply tragic, as the loss of agency and personal freedom made these figures pitiable rather than monstrous. The Western fascination with zombies began in the early 20th century, largely due to American writer William B. Seabrook's book, The Magic Island, 1929. In it, Seabrook describes his experiences in Haiti, including encounters with voodoo rituals and zombies. This work ignited Western interest in zombies, inspiring a flood of literature and cinematic interpretations that transformed them from tragic figures into horrifying monsters. The idea of the zombie eventually entered Hollywood, creating an entirely new horror subgenre that would continue to evolve for decades. Early zombie films like White Zombie, 1932, stayed close to the Haitian concept, portraying zombies as slow-moving, soulless beings under the control of a living master. However, in 1968, George A. Romero's landmark film, Night of the Living Dead, introduced a radically different kind of zombie, one that is autonomous, aggressive, and cannibalistic. Romero's zombies were not reanimated by magic, but instead left mysterious and inexplicable, which added to their horror. They represented societal fears of invasion, contagion, and the erosion of social norms, laying the groundwork for the modern zombie archetype. Romero's influence on the genre was profound, with subsequent films in the 1970s and 1980s introducing new elements to the zombie mythos. Movies like Dawn of the Dead, 1978, continued exploring zombies as symbols of societal collapse and unchecked consumerism. By the time the 1980s arrived, zombies had become associated with biological threats, often the result of viruses, scientific experiments, or radiation exposure. This evolution coincided with real-world fears about nuclear fallout and the dangers of scientific overreach, reflecting the anxieties of an increasingly technology-driven world. In the 21st century, the zombie genre exploded with a resurgence of interest in horror films and the rise of zombie-focused television shows, video games, and novels. Zombies became an all-encompassing metaphor for pandemics, environmental disaster, and even political corruption. Television series like The Walking Dead portrayed the zombie apocalypse as an unending survival nightmare, illustrating how humans could devolve into brutality and savagery in a collapsed society. This complex and varied representation of zombies ensured their place as an enduring symbol in pop culture. As the zombie figure evolved, modern science fiction and horror literature sought ways to rationalize the zombie condition, often framing it in terms of biological or viral explanations. A popular approach is the idea of a zombie virus that spreads through bites or bodily fluids, turning the infected into mindless, aggressive beings driven only by basic instincts like hunger. One common explanation draws on the properties of rabies. The rabies virus, which can cause aggression, hallucinations, and severe neurological damage, has qualities that make it a plausible foundation for zombie fiction. The idea of a rabies-like virus causing extreme aggression and loss of higher brain functions aligns with the common portrayal of zombies as violent and unthinking. Neurology also plays a role in shaping the scientific concepts behind zombies. Certain neurological conditions, such as catatonic states, could theoretically create individuals who appear alive but lack consciousness and self-awareness. In such scenarios, zombies are seen as biological robots, with brain functions reduced to the most basic survival mechanisms. This rationalization allows zombies to be depicted as plausible creatures in apocalyptic scenarios, grounding the supernatural in pseudo-scientific explanations that heighten their believability. In today's media, zombies are everywhere, from films and television shows to video games, books, and even comics. They have moved from the horror genre into mainstream entertainment, and their versatility as a symbol has allowed them to represent a wide array of social anxieties. One of the most enduring interpretations of zombies is as a symbol of consumerism. George Romero's Dawn of the Dead uses the setting of a shopping mall as a metaphor for consumer culture, where the zombies' mindless wandering and compulsive behaviors mirror society's obsession with material goods. This critique of consumerism is a common theme in zombie narratives, emphasizing the dangers of an unchecked desire for material wealth and consumption. The zombies' relentless hunger for flesh becomes a satirical exaggeration of the endless human desire for more. Zombies are often linked to infectious diseases, representing the spread of viruses and the fear of contagion. This metaphor took on new relevance during the COVID-19 pandemic, as real-world events underscored the fragility of human health and social stability in the face of disease. Films like 28 Days Later depict zombies as infected humans, with the rage virus turning people into violent, mindless creatures. This trend reflects a deep-seated fear of loss of control over one's body and the speed at which a biological threat can obliterate civilization. The concept of a zombie apocalypse often explores themes of societal breakdown. As survivors are forced to fend for themselves in lawless landscapes, the boundaries between right and wrong blur. Television shows like The Walking Dead delve into the moral struggles of survival, illustrating how extreme circumstances can lead individuals to commit acts of cruelty to survive. Zombies, in this context, are a catalyst for moral and ethical questions. What is humanity when stripped of its social structures? At what point does survival come at the cost of one's humanity? The popularity of zombies can be analyzed from psychological and sociological perspectives. Zombies tap into collective fears and serve as symbols for threats that are both immediate and existential. Some scholars view zombies as embodiments of social anxieties and as archetypal symbols, representing the breakdown of order and loss of individuality. Psychologically, zombies may represent the shadow self, a concept in Carl Jung's psychology that includes the repressed, darker parts of the psyche. The zombie's mindless aggression and disregard for social norms reflect a primal side of human nature that civilization works to repress. When society breaks down, this shadow self emerges, revealing that beneath the surface of civilized society lies a capacity for violence and a struggle for dominance. Sociologically, the zombie horde mirrors fears of de-individuation, the loss of self-awareness and personal responsibility within a crowd. As zombies form large, faceless hordes, they embody the anxiety around conformity, mass hysteria, and the fear of becoming lost in a collective identity. This can be seen as a critique of modern society's tendency to emphasize mass behavior over individual autonomy. At a fundamental level, zombies represent humanity's fear of death and the unknown. In a zombie apocalypse, survivors are confronted with the fact that death is not the end. Instead, It is a transformation into something horrifyingly less than human. The zombies' relentless nature and lack of consciousness make them a disturbing reminder of our fear of the body as a lifeless vessel. Philosophically, zombies touch upon themes of existentialism and nihilism. The concept of becoming a zombie forces survivors to confront the loss of identity, autonomy, and purpose. The fight against zombies becomes a struggle to preserve not just life, but the very essence of what it means to be human. Through this lens, zombies serve as a mirror to the ultimate questions of existence, forcing us to ask what we value, how we define ourselves, and what it means to retain our humanity in the face of inevitable decay. In essence, zombies are a powerful cultural symbol. They encapsulate the fears of disease, societal collapse, the loss of identity, and the stripping away of civilization structures. These creatures, though fictional, resonate with audiences precisely because they evoke primal and existential fears that are deeply embedded in the human psyche. Through zombies, we explore survival, ethics, identity, and the limits of our humanity, all while facing the terrifying thought that one day, we too may lose ourselves entirely.
Thanks for watching. It will be nice to see you again in the world of mythical creatures.